know gentlemen here that went to school with me that had graduated from college, but once I took them down to the union hall to get in the trade, they were denied.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this wasn't an educational problem.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that, you know, I think it's a great idea, but that we have everything in place so when we do get them out of school, that they're going towards something else.
Yes, sir.
And so that's all.
Okay, the first thing you have to understand, I do a couple of things well, not everything well. We don't do the building trades. That's a separate thing. There are others probably capable of doing that. We're going to focus in on medical tech, food, and probably digital imaging on the children's side, specifically. We get our people to work. There's no point in training people that can't get a job. But what we do is, I came up with this brilliant idea. Go talk to the employers before you start teaching them. It's very revolutionary. So I said, well, what are y'all teaching this hospital? And loan me somebody to design the curriculum. So when our guys leave, the next day to go to work. And I'm holding 85% placement, positive, not pretend, real stuff, in every course offering that we have at our school. And that's how we're able to sustain this thing.
Macy?
Well, I'm so proud to have you here. I am a board member of Marshall. We've been talking
terrific.
for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
It's good to see you here. My question is, I direct a federal program for seniors, it's a joint program, and our seniors are in deep need of jobs. And the poor seniors have to work. They have to supplement their income. They're not the typical ones that are retiring from the bigger corporations and so on, and they are in need. So my question is, will these programs that you're presenting be available for seniors to partake and train and also get work?
The answer is yes. There is no reason why everyone can't participate in this process in some way. We have our first deaf culinary person in Pittsburgh. A woman who signed up recently, she can't hear a word, and she's graduated from the program that has a job. So we are very open to what are called special constituencies, and to be a medical coder or a medical billing person, which are probably going to be one of our areas, that's basically this keystroke. That's computer stuff. You're not limited to do that when you're 80 years old. You can sit down and put on in front of a computer. So the answer is yes, absolutely. We want to have these programs be adaptable to the constituency that needs it. Now, there are some national companies looking at this with great interest, I can tell you. Sodexo is very aware of this conversation that we're having in Minneapolis, as is Allscripts, the pharmaceutical fulfillment company. They're both very aware of this conversation. And if we can demonstrate the ability to get this thing open, okay, I think we can then begin to build those relationships. But you start small. You don't start big. You start very small, prove that the thing works, get a local board and a local director, and get out of the way. And if it starts to work, you'll build momentum.
Roxanne? You got a question?
No.
Okay. Jolene?
And this is my second time hearing the presentation, and I thank you very much, and it always becomes even more, makes more sense, if you will. But I guess my question would be, as we talk about folks being involved in the process at all of the levels that work with the young people, what is the plan from the perspective of having the young people at the table at all of the levels, as well as the parents?
Well, there are two ways to answer that. The first is that we can get students involved as advisors to the center, and we do that in Pittsburgh. Secondly, our faculty actually designs the curriculum with the students. That's worked out very successfully. So we actually get the students involved in designing the curriculum. And we have a group called Arts Apprenticeship Leaders. And these are young people that have been designated as leaders of educational groups within the program. And they really, in effect, become some of the role models for the other kids. So they're very actively involved in the curriculum, in the program, daily. It's not an arm's length relationship. They're very much a part of this process. And the even better news is, if the curriculum doesn't work, we tear it up and write another one. And then we figure out what's the right one for that constituency, and we do that based on the input we get back from the kids. Now, I have to tell you a story, because somebody says, yeah, I got a little minister in me, just like Bobby. This is a story that I want you to remember after I leave here. This work is very hard. You know, you get depressed. I was depressed last night, feeling a little better right now. But I got a chance to give my little slideshow to 2,000 orthopedic surgeons in Denver. And I'm thinking, man, what are these guys want? They could care less about me working with some kids. So I'm in front of these 2,000 orthopedic surgeons with my slideshow. I get a tremendous ovation from the doctors. And they said, when you come to Minneapolis, we're going to be there for you. When you come to Cleveland, we'll work with you. So I'm in the receiving line with all these doctors. And one of the guys comes up to me and says, thank you very much, more than you know. I said, well, Doc, I'm really glad you appreciated the speech. He said, no, I'm one of your kids. I graduated from your ceramics program when I was in 12th grade from the Pittsburgh public school system. That's called a beam of light, okay, that validates this work. There are a lot of kids like that in North Minneapolis, okay, who need a chance to demonstrate to themselves and to you guys what they can do. And I hope that you remember that story on the go forward.
Right.
I love everything you do.
Yes, sir.
Where I differ is in my conversation with Bobby Joe, and I gotta say it because I want everybody to know, all of this is good. But in the Twin Cities, we refuse to address the real problem. How can I get a kid in class if he's preoccupied selling drugs, killing each other?
Yeah.
We were 7 total kids in the youth prison. We're now 65%.
Yeah.
We were just going to school. Now we're raping in school, selling dope in school, fighting in school, girls stabbing people in school. But no one wants to put nothing on the front end to get the child prepared so they can take advantage of that. They expect this child to walk in there, and this child ain't connected to none of us.
I hear you. I got you.
He'd rather sell us poison, kill us, tear up our neighborhood, destroy everything we got. And every time you talk to people about it, they want to run over here and give the money to somebody that won't address this problem, and people in this neighborhood are living with this problem. Right now, this young man here tell you, right now the goal is, let's jack all the old folks. Wherever we see them, let's pull a pistol and rob them. So it's us on us. Ain't nobody talking about it though.
Right.
And so to me, I told Bob, this is great, but if you don't do the front end to get this child ready, what is the point? You know, Obi's sitting here right now. The biggest argument down in Mankato is not your right to be there, it's your behavior when you come.
I got you.
Am I right or wrong, Obi?
You right.
I got it.
And so I'm trying to say to you that you got to talk to the funders here about helping us prepare the children to take advantage of this great idea, and nobody wants to do that in the Twin Cities. And I'm gonna say this too. It's time for your adults to stop ignoring what's going on in this community.
Right.
And acting like they got no say-so with their children
I got
who are
you.
running around here. We're about to lose our bus line because we don't know how to ride the bus. We can't go downtown because we don't know how to act. We need help.
Yes.
And so it's a great idea, but if you ain't gonna do the front end, what's the sense of talking about the back end?
So let me respond by saying, I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're saying what you're saying. I got both ears open. That's the first thing. Secondly, one of the reasons we keep the horticultural and food program open is to deal with that exact constituency. Because when guys are coming out of jail, they got a criminal record, you can't get them bonded working in a chemical company. But you can make them cooks, chefs, you can put them in horticulture, and I've got those students at my center right now. Thirdly, if they can't read, we can teach them how to read. But I think the point of the story is we will have a relationship with you. It's important that you be a part of this conversation. And no, as Bobby mentioned, nothing's too difficult to deal with because we want this thing to work. So I got you. Thank you for contributing that. And I have a feeling that you and I will sit down again.
Okay.
Maybe
I
one or
see.
two more.
Okay, so Mac, I'm trying to do this all mentally too. Mac, I saw you had a question, and wasn't there somebody over here? Oh, okay. I thought you were raising your hand for your mother earlier. Okay, I'm sorry. I got 3 more questions because he has to get ready to leave. Mac, my sister over here, and Lenny.
Thank you, Bob. I just wanted to say, I think the opposite word that you pointed out earlier, that's important for all of us in here is the word cooperation. If we don't find a common ground, we can support what we're trying to do, then it will be lost. I sign up, whatever I need to do and whatever I represent, is willing to sit at the table and see whatever we can offer to help this thing out. And lastly, ego, acronym, edging God out. If we let it go and see the target, what we need to do, we can make this thing work.